This should be. There we go. Silent.
Stacy, we're live, and the first thing we saw were your boobs because you were bending over.
Let me do it again.
So Anabolic Academy, I got a special guest with me, Stacy Maceda. What's up, Stacy?
What's up, everybody? I almost didn't wear pants today because I was like, I'm at home. Why do I have to put pants on? And
however you're comfortable, I don't care. You know what's funny is when I used to watch well, I still watch them. I still enjoy watching them. The Hostel with Fuad, and when he first started doing it during the COVID, there was James Hollingshead would come on, and he never had pants on. There were a couple of times he would get up to go to the bathroom or something. He would be in his underwear, you know,
just a whole suit on, business
casual shirt on or whatever, and then he wouldn't have pants on. But when you're in, I guess when you're in your own home, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. I was like, why am I putting pants on? I hate pants.
Fuck it, be naked. Who cares?
Right.
Anabolic Academy, that is only seen on Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. We are live every Monday on Anabolic Academy. And so, Stacy, what do? Is people send me questions. And so how can you reach me? You can reach me by Instagram, Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding, Facebook, John Livia, TikTok, John Livia. Yeah, really. I got to get that. Got to get that out. Am I wearing pants? Yes, I am. I'm wearing shorts.
Let me see. No, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
No, I swear. I got shorts on. I'm not lying. I got pants on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
maybe next time I'll surprise you on that. Maybe.
Yeah. You get me demonetized for Christ. I'll have all the views in the world, but I won't make $1. How else can you reach me? My email, unclejohn1201@gmail, and my other email, john_livia@yahoo. And all of that is in my description area. So you guys just ask me questions. From time to time, I have a special guest like I do today. Stacy Maceda will be answering questions. And whoever asks us questions live and the ones that are emailed. And that's about how it works. So, Stacy, tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, where do you want to start? Because I am a very eccentric person, so we can talk about a billion things. But
well, what happened was I messaged you because I saw you have a YouTube channel. First of all, let's plug your YouTube channel.
Yep, I have a YouTube channel. Just look up Stacy Maceda. It's
actually in the description. I made sure to put it in. I believe your Instagram and your YouTube is in there. You are a female bodybuilding fitness enthusiast.
I use that term loosely, like bodybuilder, because everyone has this like crazy opinion about if you don't compete, you're not a bodybuilder. If you
right. Yeah.
You know, like I don't even really care. It's just one of the words that I use to describe my lifestyle, so people understand that I do take this seriously. I diet, I train a lot. You know, there's so much that's incorporated into that. So it's not just something I do casually is really why I use the term. So,
yeah. So what happened was I saw the video of you at the Olympia and I forgot what booth you were at.
Titan Medical Center.
Titan Medical. Yeah. Cause you're sponsored by Titan Medical Center.
Right.
And I forgot what booth you were at. And then what had happened was you did a video about the Mike O'Hearn situation where he got into a bit of a tiff because you were right there. Bit of a tiff with I forgot the guy that comes over with the scale and
it's Eric Konevsky.
Okay, yeah. He seems to be.
He's got his own channel. He does a lot of pranks and stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't understand what the big deal is over like getting on the scale. I guess he understands that people lie about their weight to seem bigger. You know,
I guess like it's in my opinion, it's just something that may be harder for a girl to understand because we don't have that type of ego necessarily. And I mean, if somebody wanted me to step on a scale but they had an attitude about it or they being weird, like I don't know if I'd want
yeah. No, I get it, but I wouldn't like I don't have anything till I'd be like, yeah, I'm about 200 pounds, I'm about 5'8", give or take, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. I don't give a shit. I never, I think he does it to people that knows that exaggerate their weight, and then he waits for and he was waiting for a reaction, which is what all these pranksters
which is what
do.
he got. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what exactly what he got. And why don't you actually, before we get started, speaking of sponsors, I have to mention my sponsors. Okay, first one, Beer League Warriors Apparel. This is one of their shirts actually, and they make workout fitted gear, I guess you could say. It's the dry fit stuff. And the guy's name is Ryan Pettengill. He is a college professor, and he started his own clothing lining for the gym, for working out, for CrossFit, for pretty much whatever, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's into fitness himself, not so much bodybuilding. And so we became friendly because he was on my other channel, and he wanted me to help him push and advertise his new clothing line. So I said, absolutely, you got it, no problem. He sent me a few shirts, and they're actually really nice and good quality shirts, and I have a whole bunch of them in all different sizes. So you go to beerleaguewarriors.com, or you go to Beer League Warriors Apparel on Instagram, and support small business. Don't buy from Nike this week. Try something different. Try Beer League Warriors Apparel. The other sponsor I have is Jersey Alternative Medicine. It's anti-aging, hormone replacement. You could actually give them a call, and they will actually give you blood work. The number is 609-977-2981. And if you want to hit them on their website, njaltmeds.com. So they'll customize the solution and deliver the meds right to your door after they give you your results on your blood work. You don't even have to go into the office. They will literally do everything virtual. Doctors' meetings, everything. And they're nationwide, so they can actually deliver any prescriptions that you need. That's Jersey Alternative Medicine. And this guy is not a sponsor, but he's a good friend of mine, Jason Owens. Please go buy your supplements at I Prevail Subs. Really good stuff, really good quality. Also in the description area. Okay, back to business. That was our commercial break.
Get it all in.
Yeah, just get it in before I forget it, before I forget everything. Okay. All right, I knew this was going to happen. Do you think C-Bum will go after a special invite for an Open Olympia? Okay. Why don't we, before we get into C-Bum, because that's going to be, everybody's going to be talking about, why don't we get into you a little bit? Because I want people to, let's get into you a little bit. Because you really do have a very interesting YouTube channel. Talk about that video that I watched that seems to be very popular on your YouTube channel. And a little bit. You also have a really good following on Instagram. So go ahead. Why don't you just give yourself a plug and tell us all about yourself and the YouTube channel and your Instagram and so on and so forth.
Well, that recent video that I made was just in response to the fact that I kept seeing my face and people were asking me questions because I was right in the middle of what happened between Mike O'Hearn and Eric Konevsky because I was working Olympia and it was my responsibility to kind of manage that area. So my hair was just all over the place. And like, I just kept seeing pops of my face while people are yelling and acting crazy. And I'm just standing there the whole time, like, so I just made a response video. If you guys want to watch it, if you watch the actual, I plugged Eric's video too, because I didn't sit there and do like a reaction video where I played his, because I'm not going to take away from his ability to make money. I don't care what he did, that's what he does for a living. So I plugged his video on my video and just said what I was doing and how I felt. It was a booth full of nothing but girls. So you come over acting tough, then, what it's just us. And I'm like half of a girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 50%. Well, maybe like, it depends what day. So we'll just.
Well, you look all woman to me. So
I just made a response video. I found it easier in some of my journey with working with people and talking with people. And I'm a diet coach. I work with people online. I tend to work with mostly non-competitors. That's my forte. I kind of prepare people before they go on and bother y'all, but that's what I like to do. I like to do food reviews and things like that. And that's really, I just started putting more energy into it to let it grow. I took some time off from my YouTube channel. You know how demanding it is. And you know what it's like to sit here and deal with the people that just, these keyboard warriors. Sometimes I don't want to hear it. So
No, I don't blame you at all. It is a work of passion. If you really don't like it, you are going to get sick of it quickly,
yeah.
because not you are if you don't have thick skin, boy,
Yeah, but
it's
you
not
can really
pretty.
learn how to like alchemize that energy. And when
Absolutely.
someone just asks if I'm a dude, I just tell them it's a surprise or something, you know, or I
Well,
tell them their dad
I
knows.
could vouch for Stacy. She is all woman. So
You saw that birth certificate on that piece.
yeah, that's
I
right.
have a
Yeah.
video where I just wrote on a piece of paper like, "This is my birth certificate," and it said "girl."
It's just trolls. It's just everybody knows. You can look. There are female bodybuilders. That's it. That's what it goes. There are girls that like to work out and hit the gym and put muscle on, and to each his own. And if guys could do it, girls could do it too. I was always a fan of bodybuilding, man or woman. I really didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really. And what here's the thing. Here's why I respect women's bodybuilding the most out of all the women's categories. Number one, you're basically going against the grain. You're saying to yourself, "No, I don't think that's what feminine is. I'm gonna produce my own definition of feminine." Okay, I could still be pretty and attractive, but at the same time, I like to lift weights and put muscle on and look a certain way. And then at the same time, you also have to have this attitude where you brush off not only the trolls in on social media, but in public too. You know, I'm sure there are times where you've in the past where you've gotten some terrible comments, but at the same time, you probably got some great compliments as well. So it's the idea that not only for a female bodybuilder are you doing something different, if you will, but you also have to be mentally strong as well physically, because you're going to hear derogatory things, whether it's on social media or
Mm-hmm.
in person, or or whispers, or whatever the case may be. And it's just, for me, that I give that a lot of respect, because being a woman, that's not easy to deal with, and female bodybuilders basically deal with it on a daily basis.
Yeah, yeah, we do. We do.
So this is
Yep.
R2F Mindset is Rich. Coach Rich, he's in Canada. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think we should salute Stacy for coming on the show, and respect for women like you standing up, girl.
Oh, well,
And
thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, so basically that's what it is. So go and check out her YouTube channel, Stacy Maceda. It's actually really interesting, and you get to see more of beautiful Stacy. So it's a win-win.
I actually stopped videotaping myself so much, and it's my hands. Like, I just kind of pulled back my energy from always having to be on camera, and I just wanted to make it about these reviews and showing people different products. Because how many times have you seen something in a store and you're like, I wonder if that's worth the $3? I don't want to waste money.
Right.
Like, I hate that. I hate buying something and it tastes like shit. I wish somebody would have just told me that this sucks, or the macronutrients suck, or like. So that's why I like to make the little reviews.
No, product reviews are huge. That is a really anything in that genre. Product reviews,
Yeah,
fitness clothing, workout, any
especially
kind of
clothing. Yeah, especially like as a
supplement.
female, how difficult it is to dress. It's
Uh,
like, look how big all this is. Like, you
right.
want me to stuff all of this?
Into
Like,
a
I have
shirt.
extra titty right here too. I mean, like, I got 4 sets of titties, and I got to cram it all into an outfit. Like, tell me what is gonna fit me, So
Yeah, no,
I'm hoping to
absolutely.
get more into those reviews too as well. So
I'm sure you will. So it's a great. I enjoy it. I subscribe to it. So now we have a couple of questions, but we're going to save the questions for a little later, because let's get to the elephant in the room, because EP09 already talked about C-Bum. Now,
yeah,
so C-Bum, 6-time classic physique Olympian champion, wins his 6th, and then he retires. And then 12 seconds later, he decides he's not retired.
that's like a Jay-Z thing, right? Like,
What happened?
Remember how like Jay-Z did that? He was like, I'm gonna retire.
It always happens.
Back out with another album. So,
yeah. It's very. I think athletes, celebrities, but especially athletes. I think especially athletes that are at the top of their game. I think it is very, very difficult for them to walk away, right? Knowing that they still have a lot left in the tank, and especially if you are an elite athlete your entire life revolves around competition.
Right.
That's your drive. That's your bread and butter. That's your gas. That's your currency. That's what keeps you valid in life, if you will. That's what gives you value. And if you all of a sudden you decide, I'm not doing this anymore, it's very difficult to stay away. So we've seen this before. We haven't seen it as fast as Bumstead, but we've seen plenty of people retire and come back. I mean, we saw it with Flex Wheeler. We saw it with Kevin Levrone. I mean, we saw it with Jay Cutler. I mean, you go on and on. I think even, what was it, Kim Kachevsky that retired and came back? I'm trying to think of some of the women, but I might be wrong about that. But don't quote me on that one. But it's, as much as I dislike it, because he had a great send off. You know, yeah. I was covering the Olympia on RX Muscle. It was me, Jason Arge, King Kamali, and Aman Adibi. And excuse me, it was a great send off when Bob Ciccarello was interviewing Bumstead. Very respectful, great speaker, class, and it was just it was ovation like you've never seen, and it was just a great send off. And then you come back from that, it's like, oh. You know, there's got
to be something that motivated that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think he's in shape, obviously, because he just did the Olympia, just won the 6th Olympia, and I think he just wants to throw his hat in the ring. I think it's a couple of things. I think he wants to throw his hat in the ring in the Open because everybody's been talking to everybody for his whole career. He's been, you know, I think he started as a bodybuilder, not as classic physique, and then he went into classic physique when it came out. If I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think it's a couple of things. I think that, and I think it's difficult to walk away when you're on top. It's very, very difficult.
I think you got to think of it as like if you had an injury, how hard it is to stop training and then just to let your body heal. I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to take time off. Like you spend all this time pounding in your brain that it needs to stay in routine. You got to go, mm-hmm. And it just becomes a really huge part of you because I think the things that are in your world and that are part of your world, they become your identity, right?
Exactly.
Your relationships, your hobbies, the things that you know, just general things that you like to do. Like that is you. Those are the things that combined together make you. So there's definitely probably some sort of ego death that kind of comes along with that. You know, I would really think.
Yeah, it's you. I think you're very accurate. That is your identity, and then when you have to move on and your entire life is driven in that direction, it's very difficult to put yourself in a new situation. Like, for example, when Dorian Yates retired, he was still relatively young. He was in his mid-30s. And for a few years, he was kind of trying to find himself. He was he had left his wife. He was in the party scene. He was trying to fill that high of his elite athleticism and competitive career with other things that was just never going to be the same. And then finally, after so much time, he kind of was able to adjust and say, move on to the next phase of life. I think for regular people who don't have a competitive mindset, can't understand it. And I think they're especially at that level.
Me, yeah. I don't competitive mindset. Unless we're like fighting or like physically fighting, like I don't care what everyone else is doing. It doesn't have anything to do with me.
Right. It's very difficult for other people to understand that mindset of why this person is coming back. You know, look, anytime you hear a regular person talk about an athlete coming back, oh, he must need the money. He must need the money. Well, it's not always necessarily true, especially with C-Bum.
Huge motivator. We all know that.
Yeah, but especially with C-Bum, he does not need the money. And how much is Prague paying if he wins? 10 grand? You know, if that, you know, as first place, I think it's 10 or 15, whatever it is.
I heard that it was, what did he win at Olympia? It was such a small amount. It was crazy.
Yeah, compared to the Open. Yeah, but I mean, look, with those guys, once you get to that elite level, the top 5 guys, they're not there for the money. They're making money at that point through sponsorships or whatever the case may be, whatever the business ventures they have because of their name. Like C-Bum needs that check for 50 grand, like he needs a hole in the head, really, but
which is shitty because it's like this is already a super demanding lifestyle. Here,
right.
give you more work to
Yeah.
do, so now you have to go and make money in different areas.
Right. Yes.
It's impossible. It's so
Yeah.
demanding. I can understand why people want to quit. I get it, but I can't. I love it. I'll do it forever because it's necessary. But it is so demanding. It, especially if you have family or kids. Like next thing you know, grown up.
Perfect example is I have a guy that comes on, a friend of mine that comes on every week on Wednesday when we do muscle talk, and his name is Luke, and he is a bodybuilder. He just turned pro. He did his first show at the Legion. He has 3 jobs and a family.
3 jobs. Wow.
3 jobs. Yeah, 1 full time, 2 part time, and he did the Legion. He came in 9th at the Legion in his first pro show. No sponsors or anything like that. That's a lot. I mean, a lot. Thank God he has a family that's very supportive. His wife is extremely supportive, and so on and so forth. But it's extremely difficult.
I remember years ago I quit my job because it was interfering with my training.
Yeah.
That was a big part of me quitting too, because I was like, this is just cutting into like me.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. Okay, so C-Bum is going to do the Prague Pro, and he's doing the Open. Now, first thing I wanted to know is who else is doing the Open. So the names floating, the names that are definitely going to be there are Martin Fitzwater is going to be there. He came in 4th at the Olympia in the Open. Sean Clarita came in 2nd this year and at the 212, and also former 212 Olympia champ is doing the Open. And there are rumors floating around about Nexzilla, but I'll believe it when I see it, because Nexzilla pulls out of every show that he says he's going to do. I mean, he literally pulled out of 5 shows. I think 4 or 5 shows this year that he said he was going to do. And I think
what was the reason for that?
He just there is no reason. He just doesn't. There's no fucking idea.
Conditioning.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think because he's a very young guy. He's in his 20s, and when he turned pro, and he got his pro card a year ago, around this time, he kind of blew up with fame all over social media because he's a freak. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but Rubiel Mosquera is his real name. He is a freak of nature. He is huge, just huge. And I think he's very young, and it's very difficult for him to adjust to this fame. And let's face it, when it comes to bodybuilding, you have to put your head down in the dirt, and you have to forget about all the fame. Yeah. You got to forget about the women. You got to forget about the women. Absolutely. You got to forget about the tits. Look, and ass.
You're talking to someone right now that I've been on one day in like 8 months, and just focusing on me, man.
Yeah. And you have everybody in your ear, and business and people, and that want to know you, and so on and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it is. And honestly, I think it's going to take him a year or 2 before he is able to deal with it, buckle down, and move on. In your 20s, that fame you can get to. I might be wrong. He might not have the work ethic, and he might be just,
He might just be setting us up for like the most climactic time when he actually does, and we're like, oh,
yeah. Because he did do one show. He came. Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's not what I look like when I orgasm either. It's way worse. Like
they are. I can only imagine. I can.
Turtle. Yeah.
Yeah. I look like I have mental issues when I'm orgasm. Like I turn into somebody that you need special needs. It's that's
hey, look, we can't. That's not funny.
Yeah. So far it's Martin Fitzwater, Sean Clarita, and possibly Rubiel Mosquera.
Not a big list.
Well, yeah, it's after the Olympia. It's
Yeah.
Now, it's possible that Rafael Brandao might show up. It's possible that Akeem might show up, which is exactly what Kenson from EP09 said.
When's the date? When is that happening? On November?
I believe it is in not this weekend, next weekend, if I'm right. I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, you sent me that, but I think it said like November 5th or something.
Prague Pro is November 16th and 17th. The Romania Pro is the 9th and 10th. So in about 2.5 weeks or whatever. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion, and it's not going to be very. People are not going to want to hear this. C-Bum's going to get his ass handed to him. This is a completely different world from classic physique. The standards are different. The posing is different. He's going to look stringy and not big, and he doesn't have the amount of muscle, nor does he have the thick back. He in classic physique, he is the epitome of classic physique. That is what people want to see. When you bring him over to the open, he lacks the muscularity in his back. He has great symmetry and balance, but he's just not going to be big enough for these guys. And how much weight could he possibly put on in, a few weeks and still have that conditioning, 5 pounds, 7 pounds, and still have decent conditioning?
Yeah.
And I think when he turns around, Martin Fitzwater's back, even Clarita's back, it's just so thick, grainy, and detailed. And that's not what they look for in classic physique. And I hope he's going into the mindset where he is going to just have some fun, see where he lies, just kind of like, maybe like just put this thing to bed, like you've always wanted to do an open pro show and so on and so forth. Because I don't think he's going to do well.
Right.
I think
maybe he didn't have I put in my 2 weeks, I'm going to stop, is more like I put in my 4 weeks, because it's about a month out from Olympia. So he might as well finish this year. There's only so many shows left.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. Now, and here's Kevin. This is my friend Kevin from India. As good as Chris Bumstead, he will be out muscled and out massed by his fellow. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Martin Fitzwater is standing on stage next to Hadi and he compares well to his size, that's impressive. And
so size matters. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
we heard it right here, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's 857 on.
Yeah.
Size matters. Okay.
Unfortunately, guys, size matters.
Don't shoot us. Don't shoot the messengers. That don't shoot us. You just said it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is true, especially in bodybuilding.
So it matters on every body part.
It matters
for. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Just to be clear.
Yeah, and if size matters, then my friend Bo Lewis really matters. I don't know. Do you know who Bo Lewis is?
I don't.
He's a pro 212 body.
I want to.
He's a pro 212 bodybuilder. And when he gets on stage, it's very difficult to watch see how he's bodybuilding, because there's just a lot more to look at. It's unreal. I don't know where he gets his posing trunks from. It has to be custom made. It has to be. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah.
I think someone showed me a picture of him a while back.
Yeah. Every time I have a new person on Muscle Talk, I bring his picture up.
He's got a big nutsack, right?
I've never seen this nutsack, Stacy.
All right. Another guy. Well, big nutsacks aren't normal in this industry.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No.
Skittles.
Don't worry, Stacy. I could fill you with averageness and mediocrity.
Look, I'm Asian. I really don't need all that. I don't need all that. I'm half Asian, so I need 50%.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
Yeah, my mom's white, my dad's Filipino.
Really?
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy and came over, met a white woman, boom.
That's interesting.
It was like the opposite.
Usually it's the opposite. Usually
I know. No, it's a designer. It's like I feel like
well, you actually, it's amazing because you look great, so you don't have one eye like this and one eye like
yeah, but if I smile real big, look, I can't see anything. Like, all my pictures, when I take pictures, I'm just like,
you gotta make sure. Yeah. Oh shit, that's funny. And Kevin from India says hello, Stacy.
Hi.
So anyway, C-Bum is probably gonna get wrecked. But I'll tell you this: the one good thing is this is great for bodybuilding because this is everybody's going to be watching this because C-Bum is such a star. For the life of me, I don't understand why he's such a star. Can you explain it to me? because he
He's good looking. He's a good looking guy.
handsome.
He's
Okay,
tall. Well,
handsome.
he's handsome. He just has that boy next door look to him. That's what it.
Because every interview I've seen of him, it's boring. His workouts are not inspirational. They're very slow and methodical.
What are you doing? Are you like this? Like,
Yeah,
I saw you throwing some stuff up. You can't move stuff too fast, you know.
Yeah. Well, when you watch like a guy like Hadi Chopin work out, or the old school guys like Branch Warren and Johnny Jackson and Ronnie Coleman, and they're fucking just grunting, and they're in the
you like intensity.
Yeah. And then when you watch a Jay Cutler or Phil Heath workout, it's very slow, methodical, mind muscle connection. And C-Bum does the same thing, but it's not very motivational. Like, I'm not watching a C-Bum video before I go to the gym, but you bet your ass I'm watching like a King Kamali video when he's deadlifting 700 pounds in his prime from 2001, right? That's what I mean. So, or a Branch Warren video with Johnny Jackson. There were two animals in the gym.
We pay for it when we get older, though. You know,
you ain't kidding.
I've done some strongman training, and
really,
it's difficult. Yeah, I did it for a little while. When I say little while, we're probably talking like a couple of months. And I did some powerlifting, and like, I really don't want to pee on myself while I'm deadlifting.
That's happened. Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, it's unbelievable with girls.
It's happened. Yeah.
When girls actually deadlift, they're pushing so hard they pee themselves. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't.
My team did not care. They were like, "Finish the lift. We don't give a fuck."
Yeah. Well, you can't. You can't. Yeah. Did you see the one where the guy just like projectile vomits? It's unbelievable.
Yes.
But
I mean, you lose like your faculties. Like, if you're really giving something you're likely to pass out. Or
it's unbelievable. All right. So that is let's go to some of the questions. Because on Anabolic Academy, it's all about, we have questions. So I have questions from two Instagram people and a bunch of questions. Let's see. Okay. I got 3 questions from Fran is the Man. Fran is the Man sends me questions every week, Stacy. Because Fran is the man. Oh, he has 1 question or 2 questions? No, 2 questions. I'm sorry. Okay. First question. Oh, okay. If you were in Jeff Nippard's shoes, would you fight? Would you have fought Mike Van Wyck? Okay, so you know that whole disaster, right?
Is he asking me because I have an answer?
I think he's asking me. I don't think he knew you were on the show, but you can answer too. All right, knowing that there is a camera on me, knowing that I am a public figure, and knowing full well that I might get my ass handed to me, yes, I would have fought him, because I would have been embarrassed if I didn't at least try to defend myself, because I would have been mortified if people, I mean, that has been drilled in my head since I'm a kid. So since growing up in Brooklyn, that has been drilled in my head that no matter what, you have to defend yourself. No matter how big he is, no matter what, it has been drilled in my head as a kid. And I would be so embarrassed that I didn't fight back. I was more afraid of my father or my mother if they found out that I didn't fight, if I didn't fight somebody who was bullying me. Like, literally, I'd be more afraid to go home as a kid, like all the way up through high school. Like, so it's embedded in me, right? And I might know that I'm about to get my ass kicked because he is a monster of a man, but I would not be able to not do it. I mean, all eyes on me. And I know I'm a different generation, so I'm not saying that I'm a tough guy or anything like that, but I would at least have fucking tried. And I certainly wouldn't have gone to the hospital afterwards and took a selfie and pressed charges.
I think it would be justified for you to protect yourself if someone throat pushed you across the rim. I mean, I've done that several times to men. I'm not bragging.
Yeah, but they paid you for it, Stacy.
It's one of the reasons why I don't go to bars, because if you come up to me saying something stupid, I'll just like...
Yeah. Did you hear me? I said, but they paid you for it. So
that's why I won't do it for free now. Like, no. That's why I won't cuss at you or argue with you or call you names or go, we ain't going back and forth. Here's my Cash App. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
They want you to. There's a lot of guys out there that want you to do that. So,
To be honest, I don't think C-Bum wanted to be a bodybuilder. He took roids in college to look good at spring break. And okay, Joe, that's your opinion. Okay. But yes, I understand that I am a different generation. I understand that I was brought up differently. The new generations, I think the young kids, I think they look for more reaction, and I think this was what Jeff wanted. I think he wanted a reaction, and he certainly got one. Even though Mike should have been in control of his emotions, but yeah, I would have been devastated if the whole world knew I didn't defend myself. I would have been, yeah, I would have been able. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to come out of the house. It would have been ridiculous. So yes, I would have had no choice. I would have given him my best shot. In my head, I would be like, I just got to get one shot in. That would be my in my head. I'd be like, give me one shot. I don't care if I get my ass kicked. Just give
So someone made a comment on my thing where I was talking about get into that with Eric Koneski. I don't know what's going to happen to these guys.
Right.
And they say something like, oh, you're a girl, you're a clown. Like, what do you think you can do? Y'all literally have these two little dangly bits that between your legs, if I just went like this, y'all just fall right over. It doesn't matter the size of a person. If I just, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. Why do y'all not hit each other in the dick? I don't understand.
It's a couple of things. There is like an unspoken man code.
Yeah, but that's off the table when you're disrespecting me.
No, it's off the table in a couple of circumstances. Off the table when there is a huge guy in front of you, like a Mike Van Wyck, and you are a lot smaller, like Jeff. It's off the table when it is more than one guy, right? And against then anything goes. But if it is. And I'm just talking about the unspoken rules of a street fight. When you are have like in high school, because nobody street fights and when you're a man anymore, unless you do it as a profession or underground street fighting. But there's these unspoken laws that you don't bite, you don't kick in the balls, right?
Well, I'm a girl, so I don't have to be a part of that, right?
No, it's completely different for a woman. For a woman, yeah, no. If a man is attacking you, you use everything at your disposal to cripple him, right? But it's not okay. But the thing is, it's not. You
get canceled for that if you did. You totally would.
What's that?
You'd be so canceled if you hit a guy in the dick. They'd be like, "No, he didn't. He broke the bro code."
Yeah, no. It depends how big he is. Like if it was me and Mike Van Wyck and I kicked him in the balls, everybody'd be like, "Yeah, no, he's a monster."
That's a big dude. How big is that guy?
Yeah, I know.
He's big.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely, completely different. But yeah, no, I would be mortified. Even when I started this channel. When I started my bodybuilding channel, right? When I do my other channel, I really don't get into personal, not that it's personal, but I don't step on anybody's toes because it's basically an interview channel or a review channel. But on this channel, I knew I was going to be talking about people because that's inevitable. You're going to be talking about bodybuilders. You're going to be talking about in this space. And I remember I made a promise to myself. Two things. No matter who I talk about, no matter what happens, I'm not going to be a punk. Nobody's going to punk me. It's not going to happen. If somebody says something to me in public, it's just not going to happen. The other thing is I'm not going to go to a show like I go to the New York Pro review. I'm not going to go because I spoke badly about somebody or something like that. That's just not happening. So I remember consciously saying I'm going to deal with the consequences when I start this channel, because this channel inevitably you're critiquing people, and a lot of people are not going to like it. It's just not.
I said that to myself before I came on your show. I'm willing to do. I really did. I'm willing because I don't know what the I'm gonna say. Like I just don't know. All right. Like we're really just rolling the dice here because I have a mouth on me and I just gotta trust that. Like, all right.
You're a perfect fit for this channel then.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question. This next question is like more of a fun question. Again, this is.
But can you fight? Like I gotta know. Like, can you fight?
Can I fight? I haven't gotten into a fist fight in fucking.
Do you have any training?
As a kid, yeah, but who doesn't
Yeah.
as a kid, But I haven't gotten into an all-out fist fight. I mean, I'm 48 now. It has to be 20 years.
You haven't been in a fight in 20 years?
Yeah. Why, push and shove, no, I haven't. Like the last time I was in an actual fight was in like a nightclub in my 20s, you know, because unless you fight for a living after that, who's walking around just fighting? Unless you are an underground fighter, or you just, but if you are a regular person and you are getting into fights, you might be the problem.
Yeah, but you're also, do you go out a lot? Like, do you go out
Nah.
on the, that's why. That's
Yeah.
why you've been able to stay.
It's like, you when you get to a certain age, you're not worried about that anymore. You're worried about your responsibilities, making money, making things happen, making your life stable, making your family's life stable, so on and so forth.
I know you go to bed at like 9:30 though, so no.
No, unfortunately, I don't actually. Oh, right, we talked about this. Yeah, we're both bit of night owls. That's
Yeah,
right.
we're night owls.
Okay, so next question. If who would win in a virtual bodybuilding pose down if given a 12-week prep? Me, Kenson from EP09, or Jason Arns? I mean, clearly it's Jason Arns. He's a fucking retired. He's a retired bodybuilding champion. Because Jason Arns is always on my other show, and he's a retired 202, 212 bodybuilder. Okay. First of all, EP09 is natural, and he's a big boy, so he would have to go on the gear. Arns is older, so I don't know how he's going to respond with injury. So I'm going to say this: I think in a 12-week prep, I would say Arns, then Kenson. I would come in last. Because if Kenton is in his 30s and he's never touched anything, he's been natural his whole life, and then all of a sudden you want to put him on a cycle, he's going to explode. And he's a big dude to begin with. So I'm going to say I probably wouldn't do that well against those two guys. Then again, I don't know what EP09's legs look like. He might not have any legs. So, but yeah, clearly Jason Arns would win. he is a professional bodybuilder. And then we have another question from Vigar _ SELJENES. He's going to kill me that I don't remember how to spell his name because he hasn't sent me a question in a while, but I don't remember how to say your name. I'm sorry, Vigar. His questions are, this is a good one for you, Stacy. Thoughts about influencers using tripods and whatnot while working out, enjoying or the new normal? Okay, you could speak on that one, Stacy.
Was he asking in reference to just people setting up their tripods
in the gym and stuff like that?
I'm typically someone that has trained forever for a really long time, so I could train by myself and be alone because it's too many people to work around sometimes. But I really don't have a problem with anyone doing that. I don't care, but I'm not going to walk all the way around the gym just to get something because you have your tripod up. But I'm respectful enough to stop and wait on someone to finish. I don't care. I don't care if you want to fucking tap dance. If you want to come up there, let me know when you're done. You're done tap dancing. Like it really doesn't bother me because it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I don't have any problem going up to someone asking, "Are you almost done with this equipment?" Or like just communicate. I think it's just communication, but there is an entitlement that kind of has come along with people setting up, but it's people's jobs. I guess as long as people are willing to be a little bit respectful about it. If you don't want to be in the camera, then that's probably the most controversial thing because we're not there so we can be in your friggin' YouTube video or on your reel, But it's a semi-public place as long as you have a membership. So, but
yeah. And also some gyms actually, I know I go to two gyms, and the one gym, Signature, they banned tripods. So
did mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, do I think it's stupid? Yes, because you can't tell me setting up a tripod and setting up a video with the perfect angle, you're going to get a great workout in, right? You can't tell me that. But do I think it's stupid? Yeah, but does it bother me? No, it doesn't. I just go in my own direction. I really don't give a shit. I
Yeah.
never had a situation where the tripod was in the way of me training.
I don't see it anymore. Like I
think
but
a
they
lot of
also
gyms
banned
got rid
it,
of it.
so it's a non-issue where I train.
Yeah, I think a lot of gyms got rid of it. As a matter of fact, there's a gym that opened up this year, Jersey Barbell.
Mhm.
It's not far from me. And knowing the climate of bodybuilding, they actually put they have a posing room, and they actually put tripods in there. So
Mhm.
if you want to take pictures of yourself in the posing room, you could put your phone on the tripod there, right? Which I think is pretty innovative. But we're talking about people setting up the tripod in the dumbbell area, right? But both gyms, the other gym I go to is LA Fitness, so it's not really that hardcore. But what's funny is I never saw that. I never saw this until today. This is so funny that this question came up today. Somebody is doing incline dumbbells today, right? Today I had to do back. So somebody's doing incline dumbbells. And instead of asking somebody to video them, like I'll do that, like, can you video me or whatever? The guy put the phone in his mouth and was holding the phone in his mouth while he's doing the set. And he must have hit record before, put it in his mouth. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Holy shit. You can't tell me that is, I get what you're trying to do, but you can't tell me you're getting a good set in that way. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
I can understand the need to record if you're trying to focus on some of your form. It is important when you're deadlifting or squatting or trying to
Yes.
execute something.
Right.
Like
That's the whole idea of mirrors.
Or even like doing some really impressive stuff. Like I have videos on my Instagram page from when I was doing like strongman training. I'm glad I have some of them. I can prove that like one time I did some really stupid shit,
Oh yeah.
But we actually have a gym here in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I live. There's a gym here in Jacksonville, Florida that actually does cater a little bit more to bodybuilders. And they don't mind if people have tripods. So just find a place that's okay with it or get some equipment. Do you see what's in my kitchen right there?
What is it?
It's a reverse hyperextension. Like,
okay.
Like, get equipment for home. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I just, to me, going to the gym is it's just my release, and I like people. Oh, Jesus Christ! Here we got a comment for you specifically, Stacy.
Mm-hmm. Boobies.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do with them today. I never wear clothes in my house. Like I don't wear clothes.
Well, thank you for covering up because I would have got demonetized and canceled. As fun as it would have been, and as many subscribers I would have gotten, I would have made $1 because I would have got demonetized. But
I don't have a big butt, so this is the best I can do.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. We're not butt people over here. We're boob people.
Asian genetics.
It's fine.
That's so refreshing to hear. It touches my heart that like finally some non-butt people like.
I can't tell you. Okay. I have this theory, and I've said this theory many times, and the theory has no backing whatsoever. Nothing. It's just in my head.
Is it gay?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with being gay. I think this is just my opinion. No scientific backing whatsoever.
Okay.
I think I know why boomers. And Gen X like boobs, and then later millennials and Gen Z like butts. I think I have an answer because
Pamela Anderson and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's socially constructed that way. I could see that. But with men, when it comes to physical attraction, social constructs really don't kind of get in too much, right? Because if that was the case, the guys would have loved skinny girls in the 90s and fat girls now with all the fat acceptance crap going on, right? But during the 60s is when formula really started becoming popular. When women got pregnant, they kind of got away from breastfeeding and they started using formula. And during the 70s and 80s, it was very, very common to use formula and not breastfeed.
I like your theory.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
Just everyone hasn't been breastfed, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah.
So y'all
yeah.
really just want me to hold y'all and like,
Yeah. And so
or maybe
I
y'all
think,
had really good mothers.
yeah. And then in the 90s is when they started introducing breastfeeding again, because all this evidence started coming out that it's much better than Enfamil or the other, the other powdered crap that they were giving kids. And then all of a sudden you started breastfeeding again. And then, those kids
Did y'all
didn't.
ever grow up? I mean, God,
No matter what, like no matter what, it's inevitable.
mommy,
you
mommy.
you can control it, right? You can control it. Like I mean, all right, listen to this. This is what I mean. When I was 15 years old, my friend's parents went on vacation, and he invited a bunch of people over to go in his pool. It was summertime, and this girl who was about the same age, she really started blossoming into a woman, and she had a bikini on, and she had these great boobs, but she really started looking like a woman. And she gets in the pool, and I remember I didn't realize I was staring, but the girl, after like so much time, was like, what are you staring at? I never realized that I was probably drooling at the same time, right? But now I've realized, I spend a lot of money on Versace sunglasses. So right now I control myself from staring and so on and so forth, and I'm not full of hormones like you are when you're 14 years old, right? It's completely different. So as you get older, you're able to just deal with it a little better, but internally you're still saying to yourself, God damn, look at them titties.
I mean, I didn't have any, so it was I got really lean, and it was just skin. It was just skin, and
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Decided to go get mine done. So
yeah, well, very, very good decision, by the way. I advocate for all women to go get their breasts made as large as possible.
I advocate for people to feel good about their body. So whatever you need to do I mean, there's a lot of radical things out here right now that we don't have a lot of feedback on because it's all very new. Yeah. But radical self-love. If I have to walk around with double D titties or D cup titties or C cup, I'm going to do it. So
we're going to be really good friends. Yeah. Pookie right here, Pook Woogie says he's a feet and a guy. When did this turn into a fetish fucking show?
Boobies are number 2. Oh, I got really cute feet.
When did this turn into fucking fetish hour? All intelligent, elegant. Oh, Kevin, you're so politically correct. That's so nice. But nah, just give me a set of big titties and a big booty, and I'm a happy man. Either or, but preferably boobies. So we're good. Anyway, okay, I'd like that. Since I have you on, I'd like to ask you some questions, not about you, but basically about women's bodybuilding in general. Okay. All right, so there are trainers like, let's say a Dave Palumbo, because I'm a big fan of Dave's. Dave says when he trains a girl who does bodybuilding, he really doesn't like to give her a lot of stuff. He might give her some Anavar. He doesn't really like to give Primobolan, or he doesn't like to push the envelope with women.
I deal mainly with people that have gone through a crisis and they're just trying to get their life back on track. So they're not even at a phase to even approach that, like if you're coming to me and you need to lose 50, 60 pounds, of course, get your blood work done.
Right.
But let's not throw drugs into the mix of things when you don't have down the basic discipline to stick to a regular diet, a regular training routine. Let's make sure, because then how would I be able to understand what changes to make? And there's just so much to fix at first. Like it's putting the cart ahead of the horse, in my opinion. And, do your due diligence in this. Like pay your fucking dues.
Right.
I feel like that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So it's basically when you I see what you're saying. You train people that are that are just trying to get in shape and trying to be healthy. You don't train like bodybuilder types that have already been to that spot and want to get.
I've prepped a couple of people.
Okay.
It's not for, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But she did great. She did amazing. Her name was Rosie. She did absolutely amazing. I bulked her up for about a year and a half, and then I cut her out. Yeah.
In bodybuilding or a different class?
She competed in Physique, I believe, but she ended up, just kind of registering for Open too at her show. She did an NPC. It was NPC, of course, but yeah, she did great, and she's actually moved on from me, and she's still competing. So she looks amazing.
Did she push the envelope with the drugs or no?
That's not really up to me to like disclose.
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. So not the people you work with. Is it your understanding, well, let's not name names, that women in bodybuilding push the envelope with the drugs like the guys do? Or is it your understanding that the girls are more conservative than the guys?
It's just hard to walk into the gym anymore and see even just a bunch of girls where I live. Where I live, I don't feel like I walk into the gym and see a normal ratio. It can easily be like 10 to 20 to 1 female a lot of the time. But as far as like the drugs go, I think at this point, if someone's been around for a while, they're likely to have like at least dabbled in Anavar, at least dabbled a little bit of something.
But I mean at a competitive level, like for a professional female bodybuilder, that's what I'm getting at.
Have they pushed the envelope too far?
Do you think they pushed the envelope?
Well, there's
just when it comes to the drugs,
not a lot of data for the female industry in general.
That's true. It's very true.
Most of the time you talk to someone that has any knowledge about this, they're just going to say, don't do it. Don't take it. Your clit's going to get big. You're going to grow body hair. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Your voice is going to change. And like, we get that. We get it. Can you just tell us like what compounds are the least, less likely to hurt us, or there's just not a lot of data out there to help us when some of these things were developed to help us in the long term deal with cancers and things like that. So we're out here doing experimental shit trying to figure it out, and that does have its side effects, but I have a thing. Okay, all right, okay, I'm gonna give you this thing. All right, this might make the most sensitive part on your body bigger. All right. Mm-hmm. This is going to make your penis bigger. Okay.
Great.
Okay. All right. That's how we feel. That's how a lot of us feel about taking something and our clit getting bigger. Okay. So everyone shut the fuck up.
Okay. Listen.
Does that make sense though? The most sensitive part on my body is bigger, and
so therefore it'll be more sensitive.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Like the
makes sense. Makes sense now.
This is gonna make your penis bigger. You'd be like, you snatch this shit out of my hand so fast.
Absolutely. It's a God's honest truth. Yeah.
But when it comes to the drugs, I mean, they affect everyone differently, of course. Mm-hmm. Finding real Anavar can be hard.
Very difficult. Yes.
Finding real Primo can be difficult.
Extremely difficult. Right. Real Primo is much more difficult to find than real Anavar. Even though real Anavar in the street is tough to find because it's expensive. So you might be buying like D-Ball or something like that you don't know about. But you can get real Anavar if you go to a hormone replacement, anti-aging. You can get so on and so forth. But Primobolan, on the other hand, is extremely difficult to find. The only good thing is, and I've plugged this plenty of times, one, you can send it to a lab and find out. But two, you could also buy, they have test kits. You could buy, Dave Palumbo sells it on davepalumbo.com. Yeah. He has and I bought it like back in the day when I was competing and whatnot, just to make sure. And it's inexpensive. It's very easy too. It's not difficult. It's not going to tell you the dosage, but it's going to tell you if what you bought is what it is. Did you ever use it? The color chart with them?
I haven't used it.
What it is they give you these solutions.
I've seen the Dave Palumbo kit. I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then there's a color chart. So you put like a couple of drops of cypionate in one of the solutions. If it turns a certain color, you look at the chart. If it says cypionate at that color, like if it turns green and green cypionate, then it means it's cypionate, right?
Yeah.
So it's very easy. And they have the same thing with they have GH kits. So you could really not worry. You could find out if it's real or not. Very, very simply now. It's not like it was in the 90s or in the early 2000s where you're just rolling the dice. You
I
know,
think GH is a good option for females, but it's
I do
super
too.
expensive. It's
Yeah,
super
I
expensive.
know. I know. At my age, that's pretty much a constant. I make sure I use a growth hormone, and then right now, all I'm on is a TRT. I haven't really done anything serious in a while, but it's because I'm 48, and I'm not looking to get on stage anymore, and growing and getting bigger isn't my first, my first thing in life anymore. So
Right, right.
so it's basically all I'm at this point. All I use is TRT and growth.
What is your TRT dosage per week?
And now I just lowered it to about 125 milligrams a week.
Really?
Yeah,
And you got that size?
yeah.
What recipient?
Well, no, let me explain. This is when I'm coming down and I'm just using a TRT.
Okay.
So I've used higher doses. Like over the summer, I was using 500 milligrams. But
Still low.
then it's still, yeah, no, this I don't need to take a lot of stuff anymore, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I've noticed that, well, me personally, I've noticed that if I take 500 or if I take 750 or 1,000, the results are the same.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really, and I've had my levels checked recently, and they're still very high. They're still very, very high. And I was doing 250 milligrams a week, and then I lowered it to 125 because it's my test levels were 1990, and
Wow.
that's very high.
That's
So
pretty good.
yeah, so I'm one of those guys that just kind of it kind of jumps up quickly when I'm on something.
Right. Do you do
But
any too, or
I'm sorry,
any orals?
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore. I mean, I was a big fan of D-ball and Tyrannobol. Those were my two favorites.
Well, T-ball is usually in between cycles, and D-ball is usually like what, a 4 to 6 week experience
Yeah,
at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Or you
use.
used to run it longer. You ran it longer than 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's no question about
Did
it.
you?
Yeah, I would use D-ball when I wanted to put size on. This was my favorite cycle when I wanted to get bigger. I'd use Sustanon, Deca, D-ball, and growth. But that was it was Sus, Deca, D-ball was always my go-to to put size on.
How
And
much
then I'm sorry.
How much Deca?
It's about 600 milligrams a week.
Oh wow! And you
So
still
it
have,
would be,
and you still.
yeah, because I
Oh
had
wow!
because I would use up between 750 and 1,000 milligrams of testosterone.
I like how you knew what that meant. Too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's no question about it. Yeah. Oh, believe me, there's Viagra, there's Cialis, there's I made sure that wasn't going to be a problem.
How was that on your joints? Like, do you notice a big
With
difference
with
between
DECA,
not taking it right now?
110%. You could clearly feel a difference. Even like now when I do pull-ups, because when I do back, I warm up with pull-ups, and I go all the way down to stretch. I feel it in my shoulder, and I can't really get it good. Even when I'm doing skull crushes, I feel it in my elbow. And when I use DECA, like the last time I used DECA was last year, I could feel it. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, night.
You tried any peptides or anything like that? Or
no, I never really got into peptides, only because I was never really educated on it too much. I don't know much about it. I haven't looked into it too much, so I probably can if I did my research, but I never really looked into it too much. And like I said, it's like right now my priority is not bodybuilding. My priority is basically this channel. My regular life, my regular job, my regular life, and this channel, and getting this channel and my other channel to be as successful as possible. So my energy is in a different spot, even though I still love to hit the gym every day and so on and so forth. And that's my passion, right? I can't do without it. But no, I that would be my go-to. And then obviously when I wanted to get leaner or for a show, I would do Sus, Tren, Tyrannobol, and then closer to the show, I would do master on and trend with and continue to, and then I was never a big fan of Winstrol. I would do it, but I was never.
Me either.
I was never a big fan of it. The trend was always more the trend, master on and halotestin. Like a month, 6 weeks out beforehand. Halotestin was only like the last 3 weeks, but that that would get, plus with growth, that would get me. And then don't get me wrong, then you're using clenbuterol and T3, and it just got to the point where it was
I hate Clen.
Oh, me too. It gets you such a headache. It works. Don't get me wrong. But it would give me such a goddamn headache. Oh,
I don't like the
Me neither. Oh, I hated it.
Did you ever try Helios, which was an injectable version?
No.
Okay, it was an injectable version of clenbuterol. Mm-hmm. What was it mixed with? It was mixed with yohimbine.
Oh, okay.
And you could spot inject it.
Really?
So, yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I did not know that. There's a lot that I didn't do, and it got to the point where I just felt like this is just too much. And it wasn't like it wasn't like I was this great bodybuilder that was this close to getting this pro card. I was just, it was just, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I remember the last show I did was 2014. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Forget it. It's just,
I think it's just fun to kind of explore the different ways of dieting. I love that. Yeah. That's probably my favorite. I love to fuck with my diet.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I'm not really much on a diet now because I like to eat, but I have realized that intermittent fasting really has helped me. When I never did that, I never had to do that. And then like
16-8.
No, I actually have done about 12 hours.
12, okay.
And it's fine. It works, I never had to do that before, but as I'm getting older, I'm forced to change my dieting around because I don't get leaner as fast. So
the food is also full of so much more crap now. I feel yeah. I noticed a big difference when I turned 40. I'm 41, but I noticed a big difference as I moved into my 40s. It was different when I was in my 30s, and I'm not just blaming food, but also my activity level has slowed down. I'm more likely to kick my feet up more, at home and just kind of relax versus I got to do this, I got to do that. My kid's grown, so I don't have to run all over the damn place,
Right,
so,
right.
I think there's a lot of things that factor into.
100%. But yeah, I there was just I never did insulin. That was pretty much the
same here.
That was the point where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
It's scary. Isn't that scary?
Yeah. And it was a combination of things that made me stop bodybuilding. One, I was already in my 30s and I was still at an NPC level, and I was thinking about doing a national level, and I never wanted to open. I've won my class, and then I won masters overall, but I never won an open overall in an NPC level. And I was thinking about doing a national level show, and I'm like, why am I going to do this? Put all this time and effort and drugs and money into something, and what maybe break top 5. And then I remember when I was thinking about doing it, I'll never forget it, man. I told the story a million times, but I'll never forget it. I went to Team Universe. I don't remember what year. It was 13 or 14. I don't remember. I think it might have been. I don't remember. And that was the year John Meadows turned pro at Team Universe. And I looked at him and I was like,
Mountain Dog. Yeah, he's got a great conditioning.
And I was like, I am never going to look like that, no matter what I do.
Nobody looks like John Meadows.
Yeah. I was like, I am never going to look like that. I mean, my last show, I was 181 pounds on stage, and I'm just like, I'm wasting my time here. It's ridiculous. You got to
train a lot like him. That's probably my training style.
Like him?
John Meadows, yeah.
Yeah, I still look up his stuff on YouTube and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then I just was like, all right, I'm done. But I'm better at doing this than actual bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whenever you step into bodybuilding, have the openness to have the structure, but then to be flexible within it and let it kind of mutate and grow along with you. Because I started out doing CrossFit, That was what I started doing. But even before CrossFit, I boxed for several years, about 3 years of my life.
Okay.
And then later on, I picked up CrossFit when CrossFit was like fresh. Like nobody knew what this thing was, and it was still really
when
cheap.
it first came on the scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it first came on the scene, which was
Yeah.
probably close to 13, 14 years ago or something like
Right.
that. And then it slowly just moved into like I just couldn't heal quick enough from that. So then I moved into training. Then I learned to diet and powerlifting, and then just dabbled all around, And I just like the regular old lifting, the
Me
regular
too.
bro split, like
Me too.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big I'm not a big person of push pull legs. When people ask me for a beginner workout, I usually tell them push pull legs. It's like 3 days a week. Go in on a Monday and I give them all push movements. Go in on Wednesday, do pull movements. Go in on Friday, do legs.
Yeah.
But then I think the typical bro split is just the best way. I've always gotten the best results. But now, what's funny is that now I do things that I enjoy doing in the gym. I don't necessarily I always hated deadlifting. Always hated deadlifting. I was never good at it. I never extremely strong at it. So I just, now it's like, well, I just don't deadlift anymore. I could do plenty of other things for back.
It hurts when I pick my keys up. Like I ain't picking all that weight up off the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Did you ever max out? Like, did you ever hit like your pinnacle of like just strength level when it came to the big three?
Yeah. So my squat was always my best. Because I have pretty good legs, so my squat was always the best, and I have it on video actually. It was this was about 8 years ago. I squatted 545 for one solid rep. My 150-pound dumbbells I repped out. I did four reps. That was the best I ever did on chest. And deadlifts were not really good. Deadlifts, the most I ever did was like 4 and change. I was just not a good deadlifter. No matter what, it is what it is. And then what happened inevitably is like I got hurt. I had to have surgery. I got titanium in my neck and my back. My upper back and so on and so forth. And spinal. I had 3 herniated discs that had to be removed and replaced with bone, spinal stenosis, and then they had to be healed with titanium, not sealed with titanium. So I look like So then after that, I just was never really the same. I mean, I'm a lot stronger than I was a year or two ago before the surgery, but it was just never the same after that. And then fuck it, why risk it? Why squat 500 pounds anymore? I'm not a power lifter. I'm not a fucking bodybuilder. And you get to a certain age and go, I just don't have to do this anymore. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to preserve this thing a little bit now so it can make it to 50.
Well, you're doing a goddamn good job, that's for sure.
I thank you. I think we get to a point where we forget that a huge part of it is just trying to be healthy. It's not just trying to look really good or look good naked. It's just, this helps me keep my diet in check, and it just brings more mindfulness and awareness to my day. I prioritize myself and my health. Maybe if you're someone out there that's not training, just start, because in 10 years from now, you'll thank yourself. You're going to have to anyways. Everyone is going to have to eventually. That's the thing, because the muscle's just naturally going to start breaking itself down.
That's right. That's right. And you could see it when a person gets older.
Yeah. And all these people that condone us for being, not natural. Okay, watch. You're going to end up on TRT too. Yeah, you are. And you're not going to be natural no more. So, eventually.
Yeah. Here's a question. You can answer this question.
All right.
What's the possibility of building new muscle after the age of 45?
Well, I'm only 41, so I don't know when I get to 45. Hold on, let me travel in the future. No, but I think it's, I've seen some amazing looking people that they really fool you with their age. Probably most of the people in the gym are in their 50s and 60s. I know some great looking, 50 and 60-year-old men. I really do. I think that you need to really make sure that your hormone levels are in check, at least be on TRT, and at least eat. I think it really comes down to people just don't eat. They don't eat.
Yeah,
They
they're
don't
scared to eat. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think first of all, everybody's a little bit different, but generally speaking, I think if you've been pounding the weight since your 20s and you're now in your 40s, you're probably not going to put on any more new muscle, right? But if you have just started training and you're in your 40s, and you've
growth.
and and I think you probably will have a growth spurt because you've never stimulated your muscles like that before in your life. So I do think that if you jump into bodybuilding, after 35, after 40, and you've never really, beat up your body much, I think you can see some really good results. And especially like you said, especially if you start using some TRT and some growth hormone and things like that, or if you want to just stay natural. I mean, it's up to you, but definitely, you get your blood work checked. But I think it is very possible to put on some serious muscle after 35, after 40. But if you've been banging the weights since your 20s like me, nah, I don't think so.
I'll put it this way. When I started around, I don't know, I think it's been like 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. At my leanest, I was like 130. I'm able to walk around at about 170 right now. I'm 5'3", by the way. I'm 5'3".
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it's a little marshmallowy. That's okay. I love me. But
no, that looks better on girl. I think we actually talked about this.
It's taken me years to be able to hold this weight and look a little bit leaner, because I'm actually kind of small right now. It's just, it can be a little bit more cut. I tend to put on fat a little bit more in my midsection and on my back. On my lower back. But it's taken me several bulks, like really serious bulks, to be able to get up to this weight where I could probably cut it and at least sit at 160 and look pretty good. Probably 160. But I don't want to cut.
I don't blame you. You know why? Because I like to eat. I like to enjoy food. That's the one thing about not having to compete. And even the mental knowing that if I wanted to go have M&Ms right now, I can. Right? Doesn't mean I'm going to, but just the mental comfort of knowing if I wanted it, I could have it. Well, when you're competing for a show, it's like, fuck, I really wish I could have that, but you can't. It's the worst.
I don't bring too much in my house. If I want something, I'll typically go get it.
Yeah.
I do like to have like a pizza once a week, but I've been kind of, stepping back from that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's usually what I do is just like what you said. Once a week, I'll have something like whatever I want.
I love a buffet. I love buffet. I'm a buffet girl.
You know what? I'm
a buffet bitch.
Buffet, yeah. Buffets in Las Vegas are the best. Have you ever
I didn't have no time to do anything.
Oh, did you ever eat at a buffet in Las Vegas at one of the better hotels? They are amazing.
No, but I lived in New Orleans and I drove one time to a casino that was in Mississippi where they had one of the top buffets in I think the United States, and it was pretty damn good. It's pretty. I like pretty much. I just go to like Hot Pot or something here now because it's
I like buffets too. Don't get me wrong. I like buffets too.
Oh,
yeah. Especially those Asian all you can eat, the Chinese all you can eat buffets.
Yeah, I like the one cook your own food.
Oh, the what do they call that?
Korean. It's like Korean barbecue.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one where the guy is doing it right in front of you.
Hibachi. You're talking about yeah. No.
Yeah, those are good too. See, now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, I know. My stomach gurgled a minute ago, and I was like, "Did he hear that?"
But when next time you're in Las Vegas, you have to go to you have to go to a buffet, especially in one of the nicer hotels. They're amazing. They're amazing. I mean, crab legs. It's unbelievable.
I stayed at I think it's pronounced Aria.
Yeah. Oh, great hotel. Yeah.
It's so huge. It's just they're just stupid big. By the time I was done with working the expo, I just had very little in my tank to do anything.
Oh, I don't blame you. That's my goal. My goal is to have, here's my goal from the bodybuilding channel. My goal is to have a huge booth at the Olympia, not a little one in the corner somewhere, a huge booth at the Olympia with large-breasted women working there Hell's Angels as security and a DJ.
Okay. And what are you going to be doing? Just boobing it out?
Just, just
We're
booping
just
it out.
supposed to be like this? Like,
Yeah, you know,
what are we doing?
promoting my channel and selling merchandise.
Okay, all right, fair
Merchandising.
enough. I'm just asking. I've worked every Olympia for the past 4 years since 2020, since Titan decided to do Olympia. Because Europa used to be a cool one that we did, which was in Orlando. And
I remember that. Yeah.
I'll tell you, the best one that I ever did was in Orlando, and it was right during COVID, and no one came. It was so small. It was one strip of booths, but it was so much more intimate, and you got to really just walk up and meet everyone.
Right.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah, it was.
How did you wind up getting with Titan?
What's that?
How did you wind up getting with Titan Medical Center?
Some of my popularity grew from posting in groups. You know, bodybuilding groups were really, really popular at one point in time. That was about, I want to say, 8 or 9 years ago. And I've just always been someone that's putting information out there, trying to help people, and always in my underwear posting pictures of myself. And they were one of the people that posted pretty frequently in the group, and someone linked me up with them because it was really new and really fresh kind of on the scene at this point, what they were doing. They have injectable amino acids, like you take them right before you train with an insulin syringe.
Really?
Yes. Like, so it's a way to kind of, you know, you don't really have to take gear to get like a really good pump. You know, you can only take so much of that. Like you said, diminishing returns, and you don't want all the effects of some of that stuff too. So it's pretty much like taking the same things that are in your pre-workout, injecting it into the primary muscle you're training, and it's bringing a lot of blood flow to that area. That's going to help it heal. It's going to give you energy, vascularity. You know when you're really deficient in carbs and you get really, really flat. There you go. This is like, you know, something that can really help boost that. But I digress. Yeah, and I just sent a message. Someone mentioned that I should send a message to him and the owner of the company, and I did. And then I kind of just slipped away from me, and he reached out to me one day and said, hey, you know, I'd like to send you something. So it started, my relationship with Titan started 8 years ago with just a ECA was the med that I picked out or whatever that I got. And every time they had some sort of event, like I wasn't like a groupie or anything, but they had like a birthday party and I was invited to it and I showed up. I went.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And no, you have to put effort in order to get, you know, in order to get sponsors. That's how it works.
I wasn't trying to get sponsored. I remember just saying, hey, look, I'm going to share this. A lot of the time, I think it has more to do with your contribution. You know, people forget that because everybody just wants something for free.
Right.
Everybody just wants this and everybody wants that. You know, what is your contribution to the company? I mean, I showed, you know, in Olympia that I was willing to throw down if I had to with the man. I don't know what the hell, but these are my close friends and this is my family and this is something I love and I will protect that.
Right.
You know, like it's my baby. You know, so like you would if you were at your own booth.
Absolutely, 100%.
But you really have to think in terms of like just if you're going to approach a company, what is your contribution? And I'm not one of the best looking females out here. I know plenty of people that look better than me, but a lot of the times it's not about that. Loyalty and trustworthiness and someone's ability to show up and be dependable goes a long way with the right people, you know, and Titan has really supported that. And I just show up. And if something goes wrong, a lot of times I'm capable of assembling things together and I'm just like a little thug. I'm like their little thug.
Well, right. You have to bring value is what you're saying. What's the point of them giving you money if you're not giving them value? Whether it's you know, like you said, working at the booth or helping them set up the booth or breaking it down or giving them clients or advertising, you know, there has to be some value. And you're right.
I think it's not just pushing a product and trying to force people. it's the education of it too. If someone messages me about something, I'll try to see how I can help them. Like, I'll listen to them talk and I'll send them information they need. I'm
Right.
not selling anyone anything, but
Right.
if you need help with something, I might know what direction to point someone in. You
Sure.
know,
Sure. Absolutely. Well, Stacy, my personal opinion is I think you're beautiful, so you don't have to worry about
thank
what
you.
every other girl is looking like. I think you're a very attractive girl. So Titan also has that on their side that they have Stacy, the very attractive Stacy Maceda. And why don't you give plug your YouTube channel and your IG before we get going?
Yeah, just search my name. It's Stacy Maceda, StacyMaceda. You can follow me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing you did earlier.
Yeah,
TikTok.
tell me about it.
I'm Fanny Pack Stacy. Don't ask me why. I don't know anymore.
I know there's that.
You can follow me wherever. I'm pretty transparent. You can follow me on Facebook too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Your Instagram and your YouTube channel links are in the description, so anybody
Thank
could
you
just
so much.
go, click, and go. And believe me, Stacy has and who doesn't want to see more of Stacy? Really?
Yeah, I probably post way anytime someone asks for my Instagram, I'm like, oh, you're about to see like me in my underwear. Like, okay, great. Great. If if you look at my photos on there, it's just me. I like to do my own little modeling at home. It's nothing professional. It's nothing I pay for. It's
Right.
just me and my little clicker and like some thigh-high boots. Just have
Okay. Well, that I think what we'll do is we're going to have a an actual in-depth interview of Stacy Maceda. That is right now we were just collaborating, answering questions from Anabolic Academy, but we are going to reschedule and we're going to get an in-depth interview of Stacy and her private life.
I can't wait.
All right, Stacy, thank you so much. And like, share, subscribe, Seriously Silliness Bodybuilding. And Stacy, I'm having a very good interview tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so it's recording tomorrow, and it'll be out on Wednesday morning. And that is Joey Stacks.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I contacted him, and he will be coming on. He is definitely an interesting human being. But I spoke to him on the phone, and he's coming on, and we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be pretty cool.
I saw some of the controversy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I kind of liked it. Like how come I couldn't get that? Like, but I did. I saw that. So.
And then of course Muscle Talk, and Stacy, when you feel comfortable enough, you can come on Muscle Talk, because I'm just going to say Lee Priest is a regular now on Muscle Talk on every Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him. I've met many great bodybuilders.
And he is a handful though when you get him rolling. And you saw the clip I posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my earbuds yesterday, and my friend, I told her about that video where he was talking about cleaning your penis and how a woman's vagina is dirty. And I lost my earbuds yesterday, and I told her about that. And she was like, "Are they in your vagina?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I tell you, it pays to have great friends, Stacy. All right, listen. Have a good night, Stacy. We'll be in touch.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Let me get.